sentences for the manufacture of fireworks without a permit.
Hey, I came in the same cell with a stripteaser from a burlesque show.
I was in the same cell with Mr. Kirby. My, he was mad.
Mrs. Kirby and the stripteaser, they were fighting all night.
Hold on about Mr. Kirby here. Anthony W. Kirby, head of Kirby & Company, 62 Wall Street, who was among those apprehended, declared he was in no way interested in the manufacture of fireworks, but refused to state why he was on the premises at the time of the raid. Mr. Kirby is a member of the Union Club, the Racket Club, the Harvard Club, and the National Geographic Society. My, he certainly is a joiner.
All them rich men are elves or something.
I suppose after all this, Mr. Tony ain't never going to marry Miss Alice, huh?
No, sir, it's too bad too, because Miss Alice sure loves that boy.
Ever notice how rich folks are always getting themselves in trouble?
Yes, sir, and I'm glad I ain't rich.
Me too.
I don't know what I'm going to do with all that food out there in the kitchen. Ain't going to be no party tonight, that's for sure.
When are we going to eat it anyhow?
Well, I'm cooking it, but I don't think anybody's going to have an appetite.
I'm hungry.
Well, hey, there's no look up about Miss Alice and all.
What's she going away for? Where's she going?
I don't know, mountain someplace, and she's going no matter what they say. I know Miss Alice, when she gets that look in her eye.
Too bad, ain't it?
It sure is.
Not even a balloon left. Look at that.
How's your hand, Mr. Duquesne, better?
Oh, it's getting better. Is there any more olive oil left out there?
It's in the salad bowl. Well, she's going. Nothing anybody said could change her. She ain't going to stay away long, is she? I don't know, Reba Lou, she won't say. Nah, certainly it's going to be lonesome around here without her.
How do you feel, Miss Sycamore?
Oh, I'm all right, Donald. Just kind of upset. Perhaps if I do some work, I'll feel better.
Well, I won't bother you then, Miss Sycamore. She's going, Penny.
Sorry.
Now, Penny.
Can't help it, Paul. Somehow I feel it's our fault.
It's mine more than yours. All these years I've been going along enjoying myself, but maybe I should have been doing something that Alice could have been proud of.
You've been a wonderful father, Paul. And husband, too.
No, I haven't. I don't know. Maybe if I would have become an architect. Felt that all last night looking at Mr. Kirby.
But we've been so happy, Paul.
Oh, I know. I used to think that was enough. I just don't know anymore.
What time does she go?
Her train leaves about 7:30.
Oh, if only she'd see Tony, I'm sure he could.
It won't help, Penny. He's been trying all day.
Where is he now?
Oh, probably walking around the block again.
Well, maybe Tony can catch her on his way
It
out.
won't help, Penny.
No, I don't suppose so. I feel so sorry for Tony, too. Well, Grandpa?
Well, Penny, let the girl be.
It sounds so terrible, Grandpa.
Well, suppose she does go to Adirondacks. She'll be back. You can take just so much of Adirondacks, and then you have to come home.
Grandpa.
Now, Penny, it does have its bright sides, too, you know. How do you mean, Grandpa? Well, Mr. Kirby getting into the patrol wagon, for one thing. And the look on his face when he had to take a bath with Donald.
Good job.
I'll never forget that if I live to be 100. And I warn you people, I intend to.
Well, it was even worse at Mrs. Kirby. When the mansion stripped her, there was a burlesque dancer there, and he kept singing a strip song on Mrs. Kirby.
I'm sure Bar Harbor is going to sing pretty dull to the Kirbys this summer. Need any help, Alice?
No thanks, Grandpa. I'm just going to trust this.
Alice, dear.
No, Penny.
I'll bring the big bag down as soon as you're ready, Alice.
Thank you. You want some candy for the train, Alice? No thanks, Sussie.
Now really, Alice, you could be just as alone here as in the mountains. You could stay up in your room the whole time.
No, Mother, I want to be by myself, away from everybody. Oh, I love you all. Oh, you know that. But, I just have to be by myself. Oh, I'll be all right. Bob, did you go for a cab?
No, I didn't know you wanted one.
I told Mr. DePinna to tell you, Paul. Didn't Mr. DePinna tell you?
He told me, but I forgot.
Oh, I wish I lived in a family that didn't always forget everything. That behaved the way other families do. Why, I'm sick of cornflakes, and I'm sick of Donald, and everything. Oh, why can't we be like other people? Oh, 2 green vegetables and roast beef and doilies on the table. A place you can bring your friends to without...
Talk to her, Tony. She's in the kitchen.
Alice, won't you listen to me, please?
Tony, it's just no use.
You're not being fair. Please let me talk to you.
Where'd they go?
Upstairs.
He walked out. The lady came in.
I knocked the olive oil right out of my hand. But it smelled kind of fishy.
How are you feeling, Mr. DePina? Is your hand still hurting you?
Always getting better. All the fireworks are burned up, huh? Downstairs. Every single one of them. And my Roman costume, too.
I told you there was a bright side to everything. Everything except my 23 years back income tax.
What
I
are you
get
gonna
another
do
letter
about it?
every day.
What are you going to do about that anyway, Grandpa?
Well, I had a kind of idea yesterday. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it anyhow.
Well, what is it?
Well, you see, I just thought maybe that I'd
Good
take...
evening, everybody.
Why, Mr. Clayton?
Forgive me, the door was open.
Oh, come on in.
Will excuse my coming today. I realize that you are upset.
It's perfectly all right, Mr. Kalenka.
I don't think I can take a lesson today, Mr. Klenka. I don't feel up to it.
I came for a lesson.
Oh, but do stay to dinner, Mr. Kalenka. Got all that food out there, and somebody's got to eat it.
I will be happy to, Madam Sycamore. Thank you. Now, I wonder if I know you well enough to ask of you a great favor.
Why, of course, Mr. Kalenka. What is it?
You have heard me talk of my friend, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
Yes?
She's a great woman. You know, she was a cousin to the Tsar of Russia, only now she's a waitress at Child's Restaurant, Times Square.
Yes, but if there's anything at all that we can do, Mr. Kalenka.
I'll tell you. The Grand Duchess has not had a good meal since before the Revolution.
Oh, he must be very hungry.
And tonight is not only the Grand Duchess's daughter's birthday, but it is also the anniversary of Peter the Great, a remarkable man.
Why, Mr. Kalenka, if you mean that you'd like us to have the Grand Duchess in our home for dinner, we'd be honored.
Oh, yes.
In the name of the Grand Duchess, I thank you.
I can hardly wait to meet her. Where is she now?
She's outside in the street waiting. I bring her in.
And fix her dress. How do I look, everyone? All right?
If I can have things like this going on, I want to live to be 150.
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. Your Highness, permit me to introduce Madam Sycamore. Madam Carmichael.
Madam,
Mr. Sycamore, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. DePina.
all right now, Mr. DePina.
Won't you be seated, Your Highness? Thank you. You're most kind. We are most honored to receive you, Your Highness.
I am most happy to
not mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I'm substituting for another flavor.
I will make sure you are on time, Your Highness.
Thank you, Colenco.
Excuse me, Grand Duchess, but I think you waited on me once in the child's place. On 72nd Street place?
No, that was my sister.
The Grand Duchess Natasha.
I better get Times Square.
Quite a lot of your folks living over here now, aren't there?
Oh, yes, many. My uncle, the Grand Duke Sergei, he is an elevator man at Macy's. A very nice man. Then there is my cousin, Prince Alexis. He will not speak to the rest of us because he works at Happy Carnegie. He is in ladies' underwear.
He was selling hot dogs at Coney Island. He was willing to talk to you.
Ah, Colenco, our time is coming. My sister Natasha is studying to be a manicurist. Uncle Sergei says Rome to make boardwalk. And next month, I get transferred to the Fifth Avenue child. From there, it is only a step to Shrubs. And then, we will see what Prince Alexis says.
Oh, I think you got it.
No, you're telling me.
Do you know the Tsar? Personally, I mean.
Of course, it was my cousin. It was most terrible what happened. But perhaps it was for the best. After all, where could he get a job now?
That is true.
And blood relations are blood relations. It is the same in every family. My cousin, the King of Sweden, he was very nice to us for about 10 years. Every once in a while, he would send me money order. But then one day he said, Olga, I just cannot go on. I'm not doing so well myself. I do not blame him.
No, of course not. Would you excuse me, please?
Hey, Grand Duchess, is it really true what they say about Rasputin?
Everybody wants to know about Rasputin. Yes, my dear son, it is true. And how?
Your Highness, we have to watch the time.
Yes, I must not be late. The manager does not like me. He's a communist.
We'll try to hurry things up, Your Highness. I see. But out in the kitchen to see if people there need some help.
I will help you. I'm a very good cook.
Oh, but Your Highness not on your day off.
I do not mind. There is your kitchen.
Well, it's right through there, but you're the guest of honor, Your Highness.
But I love to cook. Come, Colenco. If they've got sour cream and hot cheese, I will make you some blintzes.
Oh, Lindsay's. Come, Pavlova. We will show you something.
Good one, Kevin.
That Grand Duchess is not right, ain't she? Hey, Grand Duchess, wait up. Maybe I can help. You got a great face for a mask, hasn't she?
She's really a very nice woman for a Red Duchess.
Wonderful what some people go through, isn't it? Still keep kind of gay, too.
Yes, she made me forget about everything for a minute.
I suppose I'd better call that cab.
Oh, wait, Paul. Maybe Tony has persuaded. Oh, here they are. Ed, will you go upstairs and bring my other bag down?
Don't do it, Ed.
Ed, please. Ed.
Oh, go ahead and bring it down. Do you know you have the most stubborn daughter in all 48 states?
Oh, that must be the cab.
Well, if it is, it's certainly wonderful service.
So, Alice, is Tony here?
Yes, he is. Come on in, Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
Good evening.
How do you do?
Forgive my intruding. Tony, I'd like you to come home with me. Your mother's very upset.
Very well, Father. Goodbye, Alice.
Bye, Tony.
I need hardly say that Mrs. Kirby and myself are as in as much pain as you people. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes. In a way, no. Now, I'm not the kind of person who tries to run other people's lives, Mr. Kirby, but I don't think I don't think these two young people have as much sense as you and I have.
Grandpa, will you please not do this?
Now, Alice, I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby. Cat can look at a king, can't he?
You want me to do that for you, Alice? No, Mother.
You know you've got quite a while before the train leaves, Alice.
Will you send a cab to 761 Claremont right away, please? That's right. Thank you.
Oh, Alice.
Father?
Are you ready, Tony?
Mr. Kirby, I suppose after last night you think this family is kind of crazy.
No, I would not say that. Although I'm not accustomed to going out to dinner and spending the night in jail.
Well, you have to remember, Mr. Kirby, you came on the wrong night. Now tonight, however, I bet nothing will happen at all. Maybe.
Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not merely last night that convinced Mrs. Kirby and myself this engagement would be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, last time, you married me?
No, Tony. I know what your father means. And he's right.
No, he's not, Alice.
Alice, you're in love with this boy. You're not marrying him because we're the kind of people we are.
Grandpa,
I know you think the two families wouldn't get along together. Well, maybe they wouldn't. But who's to say they're right and we're wrong?
Grandpa, I'm not saying that. I just feel that...
Well, what I feel is that Tony's too nice a young boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Yes, mixed up and unhappy the way you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I'm a very happy man. Are you? Certainly I am.
I don't think so. What do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No. You get it from doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Oh, yes, you do. Why, just last night you said after a week in Wall Street you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on?
Why do I do? Why? Why, that's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Oh, why not? You've got all the money you'll ever need. You can't take it with you.
It's a very easy thing to say, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I spent my entire life building on my business.
And what's it got you? Same kind of mail every morning, same kind of deals, same kind of meetings, same dinners at night, same indigestion. Where does the fun come in? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? You must have wanted more when you were first starting out. We haven't got much time anymore, any of us.
What do you want me to do? Live the way you do? Do nothing?
Well, I have a lot of fun. Time enough for everything. Sit, read, talk, practice my darts, visit the zoo now and then. I even have time to notice when spring comes around. Don't talk to anybody I don't want to. I don't have 6 hours of things I have to do before I get 1 hour of things I want to do in. And I haven't taken bicarbonated soda in 35 years. What's the matter with that?
The matter? Well, I suppose we all did. What a fine world we have. Everybody going to zoos. Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who would do the work?
Oh, there's always people to do the work. You can't stop them. Inventions. And they fly the ocean. There's always people to go to Wall Street, too, because they like it. From what I've seen of you, Mr. Kirby, I don't think you're one of them. I think you're missing something.
Not aware of missing anything.
I wasn't either. So I quit. I used to get to that office 9 o'clock sharp every morning, no matter how I felt. I used to lie awake nights for fear I wouldn't get that contract. I used to worry about the world, too. I used to worry about whether Cleveland or Blaine was going to be president. It seemed so awful important at the time. But who cares now? What I'm trying to say, Mr. Kirby, is that I've had 35 years that nothing in this world could ever change. Don't you see?
Yes, I do see. It's a very dangerous philosophy, Mr. Vanderhoff. It's un-American, and it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I don't want Tony coming under its influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
Matter with it? It's downright communism, that's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
Oh, I most certainly did. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so because there was a time when you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Don't be an idiot, Tony.
Oh, yes, you did. I found those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No!
How dared you read those letters? How dared you?
Why, that's wonderful, Mr. Kirby. Did you wear tights?
Certainly not. The whole thing is absurd. I was 14 years old at the time.
Yes, but at 18 you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you? Tony. And at 21 you ran away from home because grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down here in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well, well, well.
I may have had silly notions in my youth, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I went to the business and forgot about them.
Not altogether, Father. There's still a saxophone in the back of your closet.
We'll discuss this later.
No, I want to talk about it now. Mr. Vanderhoff is right, dead right. I'm never going back to the office. I've always hated it, and I'm not going on with it. And I'll tell you something else. I brought you here on purpose last night. I knew it was the wrong night.
Tony, oh, for heaven's sake.
Because I wanted you to see a real family, as real families there really were. A family that loved and understood each other. You don't understand me. You've never had time. Well, I'm not going to make your mistake, and I'm getting out.
Getting out? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to be pushed into a business just because I'm your son.
Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer, but at least it'll be something that I want to do.
This must be the cab.
Tell him to wait a minute, Ed.
Grandpa?
Do you mind, Alice? Mr. Kirby, Tony's going through exactly what you and I did when we were his age. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the same things to your father 25 years ago. We all did it, and we were right. How many of us would be willing to accept what we eventually get when we're young? All those plans, whatever happens to them. It's only a handful of the lucky ones that can ever look back and say they even came close. So before they clean out that closet, Mr. Kirby, I think I'd get in a few good hours on that saxophone.
I beg your pardon. But before I make the links, I'm in need of the big dinner.
Your Highness, may I introduce Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. I was going to.
How do you do? Before I make the links, I'm in need of the big dinner.
Oh, I make quite a stack of them, Your Highness. Can never tell.
Good. The Tsar always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the lenses.
Who did you say that was, Mr. Vanderhoff?
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner. How about if you and Tony both stay for dinner?
Oh, please do, Mr. Kirby. We've got all that food out there we were going to eat last night. I mean tonight.
Looks like a nice dinner, Mr. Kirby. And it'll kind of give us a chance to get acquainted, too.
How about it, Father?
Are we staying? If you care to, Tony, I'd like to. Very much.
Now, if Alice is sent away the cab, Mr. Vanderhoff.
How about it, Alice? It's going to be a nice crowd. Why don't you stay for dinner?
Grandpa?
Alice, I'm staying. The families ought to get to know each other, don't you think?
Kirby? Tony? Tony? Why, Grandpa, you're wonderful.
Oh, I've been telling you that for years.
Here's a lemon cake that Grandpa was in the freezer.
So, why don't you step in my office? I'd better tell that cab.
Well, well, well.
What is it?
The government apologizes. I don't owe them a nickel. It seems I died 8 years ago.
What does it mean, Grandpa?
Well, remember the milkman buried under my name?
Yes.
I just told them they made a mistake and I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr. So they're very sorry and I may even get a refund. Sure.
Pardon me, Mr. Vanderhoff. How do you say you escaped income tax?
Tonight, my friends, we are really going to eat.
Hello there. How do you do? Fine, fine. Glad to see you.
What has happened?
Relaxing. That's right, Ed. Play something.
Everything will be ready in a minute. You can sit down. Come on, everybody.
Oh, God.
Ashley, stop dancing and come to dinner.
Really like Russian food, Mr. Kirby.
Oh, yes, but you must be careful of your indigestion. Mr. Kirby?
Nonsense. I have heavy congestion.
How was your trip there?
Shut your face, Mr. Kirby.
You know, in Russia, when they sit down to dinner, it's really wonderful. It's all over me.
Hey, quiet, everyone. Quiet. What is quiet?
Well, sir, here we are again, and we'd certainly like to thank you for everything you've done for us. Everything seems to be going along just fine. Alice and Tony are going to be married, and it looks as if they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that was Mr. DePina's fault. We've all got our health, but as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it up to you. Thank you.
No, Grandpa, I heard from my friend in Siberia. He's escaped again.
You might walk in our having roast duck for dinner. No dancing later. That's not
And a very good thing, too.